Stretch.
Levels.
Levels.
Yeah, that'll work.
Sure. So I'm back home from being in Florida, finally.
Nobody can see the size of the grin on your face when you said that. Sorry.
They held our mail for 3 weeks, right?
Oh, this is going to be tougher than I thought. Okay, yes. So they held your mail for 3 weeks.
During the time that we were gone, as some of toddlers you may remember, I had a birthday. So I came home to the birthday cards that arrived in the mail while I was gone, right? So I opened up the mail. I got a birthday card from my aunt who lives in Potawatomi County. In the world of birthdays, one day you are young, and the next day you are fabulous. Enjoy your day. Thank you, Aunt Marcia and Uncle Paul. From my Aunt Brenda, who lives in Colorado, nephew, happy birthday. And she sent me $10. My 75-year-old aunt sent her 54-year-old nephew a $10 bill, which she has done every year of my life.
And had you when she started doing that, had you invested that in Nvidia stock?
Right?
35 years at wait, that's not. Anyway, we'll get corrected on that. Okay.
Thank you, Aunt Brenda. I got from Jackie and Ron, who is Lucas's girlfriend's parents.
Okay.
I can still party till the cows come home, as long as they come home around by 9 p.m. It's your birthday, party till 9-ish.
Obviously, they're not aware of the loose ninja cows because they don't come home.
That's so. Thank you, Jackie and Ron. And then from toddler 1060, 1059, and 2016, I got I Hope Your Birthday Rocks, which is a birthday card with, you remember the picture of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson where he's, kind of leaning and he's got the fanny pack on when he's like, I don't know, 18 years old.
Yeah.
Classic Dwayne "The Rock" picture. I Hope Your Birthday Rocks. Happy birthday from Wrigley, Ivana, and Dawn to Dwayne, not "The Rock" Johnson. Fantastic. It was really awesome to have that show up in the mail. Thank you to those toddlers. How awesome was that? Yes.
I'm now thinking next year, if Yvonne wants to send you a birthday card with a picture of you from around that same age, I may know a source of where she might be able to get one of those pictures.
Was I wearing a cowboy hat with a feather in it?
Well, those are the good ones, and then they go down from there.
Yeah, that's the high point. That's not wrong. Hi, toddlers. Welcome to Talking to Todd, a weekly podcast with Dwayne Johnson and Todd Prinz, where failure is always an option. Thanks for joining us. Hey, Todd.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. It's good to be home. How are you?
Not too bad. If this was a podcast that we did serious editing work, I would go back. I would give you some audio to splice into the cold open. But since we don't do that, this is just how. Literally, as soon as the theme started, I said I missed the joke.
Oh,
I'm off. Obviously, I'm not firing on all cylinders here yet. Maybe hopefully by the end of the show. When you said, you mean, is it me wearing a cowboy hat and a feather? The punchline is yes, and I have a picture of you as drum major. That's the joke.
There it is. Yeah, there it was.
Just like just half a second too late.
Yep.
All right, let's see if I can get that half second back throughout the show.
Let's see. Feedback, follow-up, and updates.
Yep.
Toddler -18 submitted an idiot for us. We will cover that later.
Excellent.
Sherry sounds like she's all in on RAGBRAI.
Okay. I think there's more discussion of that coming.
Yep. Doug from the Idiot Toddlers offered a RAGBRAI meetup in Cedar Falls.
Excellent.
Danny sent us a text. So, and I quote verbatim here, you two do know that you don't actually have to ride the route to participate in RAGBRAI, right? You could just show up in Iowa Falls and hang out.
I'm going to be honest. That thought had never crossed my mind.
Who does that? Why would you do that?
And if we did that, can I still wear the stupid looking shorts?
Sure, you can still look like you rode even if you didn't rode. I'll back you up, man. I'm there.
Yes. Where you're walking around, you're in your pristine, nice jersey shorts, like, whoo, heck of a day. That was a big hill. It was pretty flat. No, the couple days ago, the have you been riding the whole thing? Yeah. You remember that big hill? Yeah, no, that big hill. It's still on my mind.
You don't look like you sweat very much. You must have an e-bike.
You must have an e-bike with a charge.
With a full charge. Yes, that's
because we have proven an e-bike with zero charge does lead to a lot of sweating.
Yes, and angst.
To the point that medical officials become concerned.
Yeah. Hey, you all right there?
Are you okay, bud? Why don't you sit here for a little bit?
Yeah, just relax. You're okay.
Yeah.
I was fine. There was never any danger. There was never much danger.
I mean, the ice towel felt great on the neck, so
it
that was
really
great.
did. That was a bonus.
Fine.
Learned something there. What did I learn that week? I learned lots of things that week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jake had a suggestion. Perhaps the Scott Frost Idiot of the Week should be renamed the Dunning-Kruger Person of the Week.
That seems a little highbrow for what we do. If I'm
being honest, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It would be better if we could get Dunning and Kruger to sponsor that, but I don't think that's the way this works.
Do you know somebody named Dunning? We know Andy Kruger. Does that count?
Yeah, I don't
think that counts.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get a lot of sponsorship money there.
David Batchelder said, "Thank you for the Bills refs note. Little drop in there last week. He appreciated that." I think that was about everything that I got. Did you get anything?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay. This was pretty big. I had one.
Actually,
I clearly riled up the Dino toddlers.
Uh-oh.
Are you aware of this?
No.
We have dinosaur experts that listen to this podcast.
Okay.
On Facebook. Someone named Josh Prinz. Are you familiar with this person?
I may know him. Yes. Oh, I did hear there was some feedback from Josh. Yes.
We were listening to this episode while driving during a college visit trip, and we have an actually correction for this episode's actuallys. Dewayne not once, but twice pronounced Cretaceous as crustaceous. We were laughing so hard we had to back up the episode to re-listen to what we missed. Also, to re-listen to crustaceous a few more times. For the record, crustaceous is having a hard shell like a lobster or a crab. Cretaceous is a period in which dinosaurs lived. An ankylosaurus, which is one of the dinosaurs that had a shell, did live in the Cretaceous period. So that's probably where the confusion came from.
Oh yeah. Well, because that's a Cretaceous crustaceous.
No, it's a crustaceous cretacea.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes. It's either that or I ate way too much lobster and crab when I was on that Florida trip.
Yeah. I just assumed, crustaceous is like when you get some bread and you're like, man, this is amazing. It's so crustaceous. Josh will be listening to this going, well, got to get back on Facebook. That is not what that means.
Not what we meant. Nope.
However, thank you for the thank you for the correction.
Thank you. We appreciate. As always, we sit corrected.
Although, by the way, I will say we were listening to that portion of the show, and Lisa's like, all the dinosaurs didn't live at the same time. I'm like, who knew? If you get the dinosaur books, the kids' books, which is whatever, like nobody reads very few people read like the scientific dinosaur. You get the dinosaur books, they're all there, right? The dinosaurs were here, they were all having a party together, and then somebody looked up in the sky and went, "Hey, what's that?" And then no more dinosaurs, right? But it wasn't like. I'm starting to wonder if my dinosaur education wasn't as complete as it needed to be.
I blame Steven Spielberg because he put them all together for Jurassic Park, which is what really caused the confusion. Either that or Land Before Time.
Yeah.
But I think it's Steven Spielberg.
Hey, if we're gonna be fessing up though, I mean, yeah, what were those little puppets we sold at Pizza Hut? Was that also Land Before Time?
I believe that was Land Before Time. Yes.
Yeah.
It might have been Land Before Time 2.
Yeah. So Pizza Hut could be partially to blame for our dinosaur knowledge problems. If you're getting your dinosaur knowledge from Pizza Hut, though, you've got more problems than just understanding dinosaurs.
That tracks.
Okay. All right. So, what do we have for follow-up?
I don't know. What do you got?
Oh, so we're playing Dewayne Guess a Number this week, and I've got the main topic, but remember last year, Dewayne Guess a Number was about the pop-up luxury trailers in not Vegas at Allegiant Field, and I asked you how much those were going for.
Yes, in the parking lot, not for the game. You can't see. This is a tailgate pop-up.
Yes. Yeah.
I remember this. Yeah.
For reasons that I'm not clear, let me back up. Because of the fires in Los Angeles, the wild card round playoff game 3 weeks ago, the Los Angeles Rams had to go. They moved the game to Arizona Cardinals Stadium.
Yeah, in Glendale. Yeah.
And so they had to sell tickets in Arizona for a Rams home game. On 5 days' notice?
Right.
Anyway, a couple of days before the game, and again, this happened a couple of weeks, I've been sitting on this a while, Lisa gets an email and says, "Hey, by the way, you want to go to the game?" And I said, "Oh, did you get a message about tickets?" And she goes, "Well, sort of." So on she got this, I think, 1 day before the game.
Okay.
It wasn't for seats. It was, they still had some premium group seating options available on 24 hours notice. So I'm going to have you, this is the Dewayne Guess a Number Light.
Okay.
They had available the Loft Suite. This is Loft Suite L301. Includes 18 tickets, up to 6 additional tickets at $430 each, and 4 parking passes included. Dewayne, how much do you think that a Loft Suite with 18 tickets would be going for?
For a divisional final?
For a wild card playoff game.
Wild card playoff game.
Yep.
Let's say 18 grand plus a food and beverage minimum.
If you take that the tickets are face value at $430 each, because it says you can buy some more tickets at that price.
Yeah.
The 18 tickets at $430 is $7,740 just for the tickets.
Yep, I figured another 10 grand.
You overshot. Let's see. The parking passes, the ability to use the suite and all of that is about another $310. Could have gotten the loft suite for $8,059. Act now,
Wow.
the game's tomorrow.
Got a spare $8,000 sitting around.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
but I don't have 18 friends.
wait, 17 if you want to go. But yes, okay.
I don't want to go to that game.
Yeah. Okay. Next one. Now, that just got you into the suite. The other one they had available was a casita. Casita number 1. 24 tickets are included, 12 parking passes, and it includes the food and alcohol beverage package. How much
Is
do you
this
think?
out in the parking lot, or is this actually a suite?
It's a suite it's in the, you're
Okay.
inside. You're in the, again.
Let's stick with this 15 grand because you got 24 tickets.
$26,000.
Oh,
On the other hand,
all
once
the F&B is included, and on the other one, you got to buy your own F&B.
There you go. Yeah.
Which is, there's a reason it's F&B.
So, yeah. There you go. Could have apparently, if you had some extra money and a whole bunch of people that could get to Arizona quick, you could have. Anyway, again, hey, by the way, what are you doing tomorrow night? Why? Well, do you want to watch a football game? I pay a lot for TV, so I think I'm fine. But anyway, so there is more fun with premium seating. Let's see, what else do we have for follow up?
You remember a couple of weeks ago, our stove broke.
Yeah, the glass on top of the stove broke.
Yeah, the I guess it's ceramic. I don't know, glass top on the stove cracked. So we went and bought a new one. It was, and the delivery date was going to be, foreshadowing, February 17th. But we're like, that's okay. We're going to be in Florida most of that time anyway. So that's fine. Got an email just before sitting down here to record tonight. The closest, the range that they would give us, expected delivery now mid-March.
Oh, okay.
Which we might have made a different decision had we known that it was going to be mid-March. We might have opted for a different model. We like this stove, but oof.
But as you've pointed out, the best ability is availability.
That is absolutely, yes, it is. Yes.
So let me really quick. Which one of these do you have in the warehouse today?
Yeah. What's it going to take to put that stove in my house right now? Did you used to be a car salesman? I don't know. It just felt like the right thing to say. Where do I've got a pickup truck. Where do I need to drive to pick one of these up? You just tell me and I can. Oh, I have to drive to China? Oh, that's not going to be good. Let's see. Anything? Did we have anything under the Todd's Tech Corner? Is sponsored by the Taylor Center for Technology Policy?
No, nothing this week.
Okay.
I mean, let's put it this way. If you need 20 minutes in any show, I can come up with 20 minutes. So you need to be careful about that, right? Like, is there anything that we need to cover?
In 50 words or less.
Too late. No, nothing for Todd's Tech Corner, sponsored by the Taylor Center for Technology Policy.
Gotta get their plug in. I mean, they're paying for their sponsorship, even if they're not getting their toddy on time. So,
Yeah. Hey, they got. Yeah, I can't. No, there's no excuse for that. How about in Technical Corner?
In Technical Corner, I have 2 stories.
Okay.
So I'm down at Martinsdale last 2 nights ago, down in Martinsdale. And there's a timeout. The girls go into the huddle. I'm standing back where I always am, observing. And it gets down towards the end of the timeout, and I start walking towards the huddle. to get them out, get them going. And one of the girls standing around the outside turns over her shoulder and sneezes. Chew! Not into her hand, not into her elbow, just sneezes directly at me. Like, oh! 2 steps backward, reach into my pocket, pull out my hand sanitizer, and make a nice showing of the hand sanitizer and rubbing while all of her teammates are dying laughing. And her eyes got so big. She's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
What would have been even funnier is you pull out the hand sanitizer, rub it all over your hands, dry them off. Like, check. Okay. Hands clean? Yes. Dry? Yes. Tea.
Now we're good to go. Now we can assess that.
Now I've cleaned this up. Yes.
So speaking of technicals, last night, I'm working with 2 guys that I've never worked with before. One of them, this is his 36th year reffing, and I haven't worked with Eric before. Eric was great. The other partner, one of the reasons I'd never worked with him before is because this was his 6th varsity game. His 5th varsity game was the previous night.
Okay. Still fresh in his head.
Right.
Got to start somewhere.
He definitely wasn't born when Eric started reffing. I'm not sure he was born when I started reffing.
Okay. All right.
College student at Iowa State. He did a good job. He did a nice job in a difficult situation where he was not planning on reffing that night, and he had to step in for somebody that got injured. But he did a nice job, and we worked through it. But there was a loose ball on the floor in front of the visiting bench. Girls start diving on the floor, and one of them grabs the arm of the other girl and pulls her down. And Eric, the old partner, the older guy, calls a foul on her for pulling the girl to the floor. As he should. I saw it too. But there's a loose ball. And for some reason, coaches have this mentality that when there's a loose ball on the floor, you can do anything that you want. But it's a loose ball. Coach, that doesn't mean you can do anything you want to. Right?
Yep.
Eric calls the foul, goes to report, and the visiting coach goes ballistic. You can't do that. How did you... that? And he's like... And then he starts coaching his girl. That's it. Stay after it. Work hard. Get on the floor. That's what we need. You got to keep doing that. Do that every time. Because that's not a foul. At which point...
Got out the hand sanitizer.
I did. And we shot 2 free throws. And then we gave the other team the ball and moved on with the game. He wasn't happy about it, but we moved on with the game. Whatever. He had to sit. In between the girls, this was in the girls' game. In between the girls' game and the boys' game, I was walking. I went over to the boys visiting coaches to introduce myself, shake hands with the assistants, and the varsity girls coach, who I've known for years, right? I've known for years, is standing behind the bench. He says, "Did you think I swore?" I said, "No, I heard you." He said, what happened? I said, "You were fine. You were fine coaching your girl, encouraging her, telling her to get after it, telling her to get on the floor, telling her to hustle after it. You were fine until you said, because that's not a foul." And you said it really loud, and you said it right at us. I've never gotten a technical foul for something like that in my life. And I said, "Well, you can't say that anymore." And I walked away from him.
This guy's over here has never coached 6 varsity basketball games, so it's a night of first for all of us.
That's right. The boys' game was supposed to be close. It was running clock in the 4th quarter, but we had a good time, and Lucas got through it, and Eric and I had a good time working together. But I'm back with my regular crew on Friday night, so it'll be good to get back with those guys again. So
excellent.
That's what I got for Tech Corner so far. Have I delayed long enough?
I think so.
That's right. That short audio clip means it's time for Dwayne Guess a Number. Okay, hit me.
Okay. Dwayne,
Yes.
do you feel lucky?
Punk?
Well, I wasn't going to go there. I was just, do you feel lucky?
I didn't do so well on Dwayne Guess a Number light, but sure, why not? Okay.
Well, because
is this a not Vegas gambling thing?
Well, it is a not Vegas gambling thing because it's lottery, which is definitely not Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So got a few numbers for you around lottery. I was listening to a podcast that was talking about the invention of the scratch ticket, and they threw out some stats that sort of blew my mind. And I went, that can't possibly. Oh, that would be excellent for Dwayne Guess a Number. So I don't have the stats exactly from the show, but I went and got some. So Dwayne, we're going to talk lottery here.
I don't have the stats exactly, but I'm going to ask you questions and expect you to have the numbers.
Oh, okay. No.
Sure, I see how this works. I see.
I went and got different numbers that are official numbers. I have real numbers.
Oh, okay.
Just not the ones they have. Anyway, Dwayne, during fiscal year 2023, okay? I'm only saying that just because this is the last year they have data for. Okay. What was the total lottery sales in the United States across all lottery? So this is scratch tickets,
Powerball, scratch drawings, daily threes.
Yeah,
all in.
All in. How much did the United States spend on buying tickets for lotteries?
$45 billion.
You want to guess. You went under.
Are you shitting me? No, you're not. $750 billion. I don't know.
Okay, now you went now you went way over. That's wow.
Okay, so I was closer on the first one.
You were closer on the first one. Okay. In fiscal year 2023, U.S. lottery sales totaled $113 billion.
Damn.
Now, in just to recalibrate, the previous year, because this is where I've got some of the other numbers, the previous year in 2022, Americans spent $98 billion. So in 1 year, it went from 98 to 113 billion. So it's, increasing.
How many million people do we have in the United States?
Well, here you go. On 98 billion in 2022, what does that mean that the average American spent? What's the per capita spending in 2022 on $98 billion for lottery tickets?
I can't do math in my head.
I know that's why I'm asking, because you could figure this out.
Yeah,
but you'd be like, yeah,
I don't know, what, $85?
$392 per person.
I spent 20 and Amy spent nothing. So we're dragging down the average.
Yeah.
Did I tell you for our annual kickoff party for work last year, one of the things that we did was we bought 2 lottery tickets for every employee that attended the meeting.
Okay.
So kind of as a end of the night, because we had this reception and dinner and band and this kind of stuff. So one of the going away, come scratch a lottery ticket. We did scratchers, right? Come scratch a couple of them and maybe you'll win something, right? So we allocated, I think we bought $2 ones, right? So we spent $400 there.
Okay.
Approximately one person's average. That was why it's stuck in my mind.
From 2022, that was one person's average.
Average we did in one night
as
for
a
our entire company. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Now, so the average is in 2022, the average was 392 per capita. And by the way, if I have that number right, it says per capita, not per eligible, right?
Oh.
Because there's a bunch of capita that can't buy lottery tickets. Right. Anyway, not going to worry about that. So 392 392 is average. Dewayne, what state had the residents who spent the most in 2022 per capita, and how much was that average?
I'm going to go with Illinois,
Okay.
and I'm going to say $503.
Okay. Both of your answers are wrong.
I had a 1 in 50 chance.
A couple states don't have lotteries.
Oh, okay. So I had, yes. But I know, like, Illinois has a bunch of different ones, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yep. So I figured that was something that, I mean, there was some logic behind my guessing.
Understood. You're under
Still wrong.
You're under at 500 and whatever you said, 505? 503, yeah. You're under. So you get another run at a state and the
Louisiana, and 681.
The state is Massachusetts.
Damn.
The average per capita is $1,037. They are number one in 2022. They were number one by more than $400 per person than any other state.
You know how to win $1,031 playing the lottery?
Spend 10,000.
No, don't don't play the lottery.
Yeah, well, that's true.
I won $1,000 this year. Really? You didn't play? You're right. Yes, I didn't. I kept it all. And I want to point out that's the average.
Yeah, that's average. Yeah. So more than half are dropping more than 1,000. Okay.
Then they're not smart. They're not.
We'll go the opposite way then. So which state that has a lottery?
Okay.
So which state that has a lottery spends the least, and what is their average?
Does Montana have a lottery?
I would assume so. I think the number of states that don't have a lottery is pretty small.
$250? Let's go Montana for $250, Todd.
Wrong and high.
Wrong and high.
Yeah.
Huh. Sounds like people in Vegas.
Also, NFL refs in the Chiefs games. Anyway, sorry, that was it's for you, David. I'll be taking one more run and then we'll be good.
Florida and $103?
The answer is North Dakota.
Oh, I was closer with Montana.
And they average just $47 per person.
$47 goes a lot further in North Dakota. I mean, it feels like 1,031.
Actually, it doesn't. So you got that wrong. $47 doesn't go a lot further. You have to go a lot further to spend $47 in North Dakota. Well, I guess I'm going to run to the convenience. Never mind.
In North Dakota, it's an inconvenience store.
Yeah. So there you go. By the way, just really, let's see, looking at this rundown. Oh, yeah. There you in your fine state of Iowa, the average is $163.
Okay, so we're below average. I said it.
You said it, not me. All right. Anyway, sorry, I don't think I can give you a bell on just about anything.
On anything, no, I didn't know. No.
But I will say this. You may not have been able to guess the answer, but I watch this for a segue. But that doesn't make you an idiot because we have actual idiots. Dewayne, what did you bring this week for the Scott Frost Memorial Idiot of the Week?
I brought two. I brought two options for you to choose from.
Of course you did.
Right? Because I haven't done this in a while, so I don't want to have to choose. Story number one, Scottie cooks. And it's not Scott Frost. Scottie cooks. And story number 2, beaver.
Have you seen the recent episode of RuPaul's Drag Race? Never mind. It's just sorry. It's let's go with you know what? Let's go with no. Let's go with you know what? Let's go with Scottie Cooks.
Sarah's going to be so disappointed. So on Christmas Day, Scottie Scheffler, have you heard this story?
I believe he injured professional golfer.
Professional golfer. He's been out.
He injured himself.
He did. Do you know how he injured himself? He cut his hand.
Which for a golfer is a big deal. I know he
and
cut his
that's
hand.
all I heard. I'm like, oh, he cut his hand. Oh, that's too bad. I mean,
and I know that this falls into the same category of when you start hearing about like starting pitchers that cut their hand. Like this is a story.
Yeah, it's a deal. Yeah.
Okay.
He was making homemade ravioli and using a wine glass to cut the dough. He broke the glass and the stem of the wine glass stabbed his right hand. Up until last week, we hadn't gotten the details of exactly how he had injured his hand. He was making ravioli at home and cutting the ravioli with a wine glass.
Wonder why that didn't come out immediately.
How many? I mean, I get it. Everybody. I mean, he's just like us, right? They're just like us. I will say that is the thing about professional golfers that regular golfers, like the rest of us, I can't step to the plate and hit a 400-foot home run or hit a 95-mile-an-hour fastball or throw a football down the field, right? But every once in a while, I can step up to a golf ball and hit a shot just like those guys. Not very often. But occasionally, you can do it. Even you can do it. You have. I've seen you.
Less occasionally, but
but these guys are just like us. Apparently they're stupid just like us because he was cutting ravioli with a wine glass. Scottie, you made millions and millions and millions of dollars last year. Hire somebody or buy the frozen. Come on, man. He had surgery. He made his season debut at Pebble Beach this last weekend. Rory won. Scottie didn't. Anywho, yeah. Scottie Scheffler, my nominee for Idiot of the Week. The Beaver story will have to wait.
It's unfortunate.
How about you?
Yeah, so there's a bank. I believe it's mostly in the UK. You've heard of the Virgin brand, right? Virgin Records, Virgin Airlines, Virgin, all of that. There's a Virgin Money bank. I think it's primarily in the UK.
Crisp bills.
You can only get once. No, that's for the other one. Anyway, so in a LinkedIn post published last week, fintech commentator, this is, by the way, out of Fortune magazine or fortune.com or whatever, fintech commentator David Birch posted a screenshot of his interaction with the Virgin Money chatbot, right? You go to any of these pages and you have to interact with the chatbot now, right? Like you can't get a hold of people. So he typed in and said, "Is it possible to merge my 2 Virgin Money ISA accounts?" The chatbot, parentheses, which has since been removed, close parentheses, responded, "Please don't use words like that. I won't be able to continue with our chat if you use this language." Apparently, the Virgin Money chatbot has on its list of offensive words that it can't communicate the word virgin. Now, is the idiot the chatbot?
No.
No,
maybe.
Because it's not really AI. Again, this is an AI. Yeah. So, by the way, Virgin Money did post on that post on LinkedIn. It said there's more at work than just a single word exception. Oh,
okay.
Okay, but were you also upset with transfer?
Merge. I think the word they were having a problem with was merge.
Yeah. It's indicating, so rest assured we're working on it. It is saying that their chatbot is significantly more complex than just finding the word virgin and being a problem. However, they did take it down and it is scheduled to be updated. So seriously, this problem is much more complicated than you think. We will also fix it. So anyway, there you go. Virgin Money. Hey, listen, I don't know if your branding team is really on it everywhere, but you might need to tell the chat. You might need to tell the chat bot who it works for.
Who does Virgin Money work for?
So you've done some traveling. Any travel stories?
No, not really. We went. Maybe when we had our team retreat last week. It's on my team. I don't know if I've told you this. On my team is 6 women and me.
Okay.
That's our team. So my boss calls me before the retreat starts and says, "Hey, one of the things we're going to do as part of this retreat is we're all going to go get manis and petties." And I know you're a guy, so you can do something else if you want to. We talked about trying to find you 9 holes of golf, but it was just going to be really difficult to get it figured out and then still have you be able to meet us back for dinner after we were done. Are you okay doing this? I'm like, sure, I'm in. And my boss, Mary Beth, says, my husband gets pedicures all the time and he loves it. With as much time, I don't know. Anyway, so I went. I had never gotten a pedicure before, so I had no context as to whether or not this was a good pedicure or a bad pedicure, because at dinner afterwards, there was a whole discussion evaluating and critiquing the different people that had done each of their nails. And I'm like, hell, I don't know, whatever, right?
This was both the best and the worst I have ever received. Why? I don't know.
I don't know. But I will do it again. This is normally about the time of year in the middle of the basketball season where I go get a lower leg and foot massage. I've got one of the spas will just focus on that, and I've done that before, but I've never had a pedicure. I will do this again.
There you go.
Yep. I did not have anybody paint my nails. The nail, I went with no color.
Did they offer clear coat, by the way?
I suppose they could have. I didn't.
I was going to say, because it's you want them painted. No, we can do clear coat. Not sure that's necessary.
Have you? Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna. Sorry, go ahead. No, you go ahead. I was gonna say, it sounds like your travel stories. Hey, I got a mani pedi, and it wasn't too bad. It's much better though than the travel stories that we heard from Toddler 401k, who has been texting us his travel stories.
That's where I was gonna go. He's like, "Hey, you guys may not want to travel with me. I don't know what's happening on my flights to Des Moines from Atlanta, but the last week, he had someone throwing up in the front of the plane."
Well, it wasn't just him. The whole plane had somebody violently ill at the front of the plane.
Yeah, on his plane.
Yes.
He managed to not get sick or sicked on.
But not everybody on the plane had the same fate as him.
Yes, he escaped.
Right in front of 1L, the front door where everybody had to get off the plane later, and near the cockpit. Now, that seemed like a one-off. He texted us this, and he's like, this is bad. I'm like, well, yeah, okay, you have a bad thing. A week later, he then tells us.
Yeah, one of the flight attendants just came up. He apparently got the first class upgrade. He was sitting up in the front. One of the flight attendants came up to the front of the plane and says, I need to catch my breath. Someone is farting in the back of the plane, and it smells so bad. And the lady that she was talking to just about spit water on her.
The good news is you're in a sealed tube at 35,000 feet, just recirculating that air. So if it hasn't gotten to you yet, give it some time. It'll be there.
There is some new air. I watched a documentary about how do you get compressed? How do you get air when you're at 37,000 feet in the air? And right, some of the air comes in through the jet engines and then is compressed and then is pumped in. So you've got 60% fresh air coming in, but 40% is recirculated farts.
Ding. Yes, sir. Quick question.
Yep.
How many HEPA filters does this plane have?
And the answer is not enough.
Not enough.
Oof.
Yeah. So by the way, just word of wisdom: if you get on a plane and you see Toddler 401k sitting there, just rebook. Just rebook.
Are you watching any? So as part of our team retreat, we had lunch with our CEO, and like the last 10 minutes, he's like, "Okay, WLR." And some of us went, "What?" But others who have been around for a little while longer knew that Jonathan meant watching, listening, reading. What are you watching, listening to, or reading? And then we had this shared discussion. And I'm like, oh, I can do this. I do this every week with Todd, WLR. So this.
And then they said, what do you mean you do this with Todd? And you said, on my podcast. And then they said, you have a podcast?
For almost 5 years now. Yes. Thank you for asking.
Here's a magnet.
So Todd, WLR.
So this weekend, I say it's complicated. We started watching The Pit, the new medical drama on Max, starring Noah Wiley. When I say we started watching this, Lisa said, "Hey, are you going to be along doing something? Because I'm going to watch this medical drama." She loves medical dramas. They're fine. So she started watching. I finished up. I watched like most of it and went, "Oh, okay, whatever." As we record, she's now watching. She finished E2 and is currently watching E3 during recording. So the household, is watching The Pit. According to the person who watches has watched a lot more medical dramas than I have, it's quite good. So I thought the first episode was quite good, and I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So The Pit on Max.
We are also watching The Pit on Max, and we tonight before we recorded watched. We are now current. We're through E5. I think is the latest one.
Okay.
Did you like the part in episode 1 where they took the lady's leg and pulled it straight out and pushed it in, so you could see? It's HBO. They don't have to edit this. They could, but they didn't. The special effects were very, very good, where they stretched the leg all the way out and fixed the compound fracture that was sticking in, and you watched the bones and everything go ooh, and then ooh. Yeah, did you see that part?
I did.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember if I saw that. Oh, you would remember.
Oh, you definitely. Yeah. In episode 2 that you missed, one of the doctors stuck his first 2 fingers in the soft palate of the roof of the mouth to fix, and you watched the patient's nose pop up and go back into shape because they had broken their nose and all of the bones and you watch the whole thing go view, and we're like, oh, we're not eating dinner when we're watching The Pit anymore. It's one of the creators was a West Wing guy.
Yep.
The writing is fantastic. It's like 24. It's 1 hour after hour after hour of this day so far. 8 a.m., 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11. It is well written. It is well acted. I like these characters. I was invested in the first 30 minutes. If you like medical dramas, I agree with Lisa. You will really like this.
The other piece about it is So due to what Lisa does for work and what I used to do for work, we have both spent some time around hospitals. Lisa has spent significantly more time in acute settings than I have. She spent a lot of time with medical software in emergency departments.
Yeah.
The, there is an accuracy about this show that you don't normally get in lots of other shows, including, and I think at least we picked up this on episode 1, which is, and I think if you do spend a lot of time in an emergency department and you're not there focused on you or one of your loved ones' emergencies and you see how it works, there is the show represents the chaos that is a high volume emergency department. There is lots of stuff going on, but what you don't see is the doctors and the nurses panicking or freaking out, right? You see them moving most of the time at regular speed while the chaos goes on around them. They're not phased by this, right? This is just Monday.
Yep. Just
right?
another day that ends in Y. Whatever. Yep.
Oh yeah, no. This is ridiculous. And this is an easy day. And so there is a bit of a truth to that. And then you see the sprinting when it really matters, right?
Yeah.
Which again, we talked about this a couple of months ago, right? By the way, if you show up at an emergency department and the doctor shows up immediately to see you,
yes,
things aren't great.
Right.
The thing that you want, if you want to know if you're okay, is the fact that nobody is sprinting to you. Like, if they can't get to you for a while, you're fine.
That's right.
You may not think you're fine, but you're fine.
As this show has gone on, people spend a lot of time sitting and waiting in chairs. I've been here for 4 hours. You're fine. Well, until somebody collapses in one of the chairs, and then there's an issue. But you could see this coming, right? But one character goes in the course of 2 episodes has gone through 4 sets of scrubs, and it's now a running gag of how many sets of scrubs is this character going to go through. I mean, it's funny, the camaraderie between the employees in the, there's some gallows humor, right? Because there is in those kinds of situations.
A lot.
Right. Yep. Anyway, yeah. If you'll, I don't know, maybe I say this too much, but if you like that kind of thing, you'll really like this. The other thing that we watched last weekend, the National Touring Company of Shucked came to Des Moines.
Oh, excellent. Did the whole show or just the company? Like, did they bring the costumes and the sets and everything, or did they just
just the people stood around on stage, told some corny jokes?
Look at that. We're almost done. You almost did it.
No, seriously. It is a dad joke a minute for 2.5 hours. Okay, so spoiler alerts, but like my favorites. Do you know what your mother would say if she were alive right now? Yeah, she'd say, "Get me out of this box."
I think we know now why it's one of your favorites.
Like the lazy orthodontist said, brace yourself.
The show basically writes itself.
And on and on. I could go on and on and on. We're not arguing. I'm right and you're just saying things. And that's just 4 of the more than 100 corny dad jokes in Shucked. We really enjoyed it. It's not for everybody. Not everything is for everybody, but it is. The songs are cute. It's a little bit Book of Mormon. And
without the incredibly offensive language.
Right. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. There was another Broadway show that I thought it kind of felt like, as I mean, in terms of the story. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So shocked. I think that's all I got. Did you learn anything this week?
Yeah. So early on in this podcast run, I talked about a large amount of digging that was going on outside of our house that eventually turned from digging to jackhammering through rock. Eventually, of course, it was, yes, we were digging. Well,
We, the
royal
royal
not
we.
me, digging for a pool, and we had to go through rock for just about 2 days. That caused almost a 30-day delay while they tried to find a bit big enough to go through all of the rock that they had to go through. I felt sorry for all of our neighbors because it was loud and it was like, oh, this just keeps going on and on. But what do you got to do? You got to have a pool. So our neighbors on the other side of us, which actually is right outside the window here for Studio A. They last 2 weeks ago they started digging a pool for a pool, and wouldn't you know it, they hit rock, and
You could have told him that.
oh, we did. No, we told them. We said, by the way, if you go with a pool company and they give you this option, we hit rock. And it was like 2 days of digging and it cost us multiple thousands more dollars. Like, be aware. So we did tell them. So they were prepared. Who wasn't prepared is me and Lisa, because that, when we were digging our pool during the day, that's on the other side of the house. So our entire house and our garage is over there. So it was probably louder for our neighbors than it was for us while working. Their pool is 20 feet away from where I sit right now.
Oh
It
dear.
it was incredibly loud for multiple days. And at some point there was a conversation of, so how much can the house shake before we need to check for structural damage? Apparently, our house sits on the rock that they're digging, not on the rock that we dug, because the house was shaking. And it got to the point of we were like, this is getting pretty annoying. And yet, what do you like? What?
Right? Yeah. Because you did the same thing a year ago.
This is exactly what we did a few years ago.
Yep. Yeah.
So just put the headphones in, and hopefully this isn't a very deep pool. So what did I learn was, yeah, what comes around goes around. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, it's no fun when some homeowner decides it's time to dig a pool, even if it happens to be you. So not great, not great. But I hope the bill is now paid. Let me just I hope the bill's paid for that. So how about you? What'd you learn?
So when we were leaving Florida, and because I flew to California and Amy flew back here to Des Moines, we left my golf clubs with my father, who will drive them back because they're driving back from Florida at the end of the month. I'm not going to need my golf clubs. It's going to be February in Iowa. Why would I need my golf clubs?
Yeah.
On Sunday, it was 55 degrees.
Okay. That's great golfing weather.
It was, and blank was open, and they did a 11 a.m. shotgun, and so we had a foursome, and I was going to play, and I'm like, okay, well, I have extra clubs around the house, old clubs, stuff that I've replaced over the years, blah blah blah. Let me see what I can put together. The irons were charitably 20 years old.
Okay.
The drivers were the same age. The driver was. The 3-wood and the 5-wood might have been 2 or 3 years newer. Tailor-made bubble shafts. For those of you anybody that knows, they were tailor-made bubble shafts. All of it, the irons and the woods, and a Callaway Super Steel 7-wood. I was 4 over for 9 holes, and Amy wants to know why I'm spending all this money on golf clubs. A good carpenter never blames his tools. You spent how much?
On $100 per stroke off your score. What are we talking here? What are we really talking?
Here's the difference. The difference between those clubs and the clubs I have now, the new ones are so much more forgiving. You just have to be really, really precise to hit the ball really well. The new ones are so much more forgiving, but
after you shank it, they just look at you and say, "That's okay, bud. We'll get him next time."
The music is Happy Boy by Kevin MacLeod. You can subscribe to our award-winning podcast with visiting golfer Todd Friends wherever you get your pods. Just search Talkin' in the number 2. There's no G and no space. You can stop by and see us at the Tuba City home office. Please don't do that. You can check out our Naperville drains if you're in the greater Chicago area. Thanks, as always, to our listeners and sponsors and contributors. And you can send your feedback on this episode or any episode to feedback@talkingtotodd.com. Todd?
I think I can solve your problem that you had with your outing with your team and also have identified a new business opportunity. Hear me out. Somebody needs to rename their golf course to Manny Petty. Hey, where are we going? We're going to go to Manny Petty. We're going to go to Manny Petty. Perfect. Wait, why are you bringing those clubs? Don't ask. Are those the old ones? No.
Petties for Mannies? No? I don't know. We'll clean something up next week. We'll be back. We're here. We're talking to Todd.
So basically you've got your dad caddying for you now. Hey, you take care of the clubs for me? Maybe a little something for the effort.
So I got that going for me.